Well, this breaking input is coming on this pertinent news itself. We are getting some fresh statements. Now, Trump's advisor has issued a fresh statement suggesting that Trump is doing well and looks forward to the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee next week. So these are the latest inputs that we are tracking at this point of time, where Trump's advisor has issued a fresh statement suggesting that Trump is doing well and is looking forward to Republican National Convention, which is going to be held next week. So these are the latest inputs that we are tracking at this point of time. Siddhant Mishra joins us on the broadcast. A very good morning, Siddhant. In the light of the security breach, we are getting yet another statement coming in from Trump's advisor, where he's issued a statement suggesting that Trump is doing just fine. But help us also understand, Siddhant, that how will the Secret Service and other security agencies will be held accountable for their performances, especially pertinent to this incident? Because like we were already discussing, secret services in the world is the most credible security services that has been providing to the world leaders. Now, this raises a lot of questions to what went wrong in the entire incident.
Teams across the world are concerned. In fact, they have
trained security teams from many other countries. Now, this particular incident has perhaps raised concern, and also concern regarding the lapse that has taken place at former President Trump's campaign event, where this person, the shooter, was standing on a rooftop with a rifle, but nobody intervened and engaged him, and that perhaps resulted in this firing incident, the assassination attempt on President Trump. Now, we have been told that Secret Service has already notified the FBI. The FBI teams and the other intelligence departments are already on ground. They have been instructed to investigate this case thoroughly. Till now, we don't know the identity of the shooter. We don't know where had he procured arms from, and what was the reason behind this assassination attempt, Kuhina.
Right.
But it is now the onus is on the government to come clean, also to come up with the findings which could satisfy Trump supporters, because there are various kind of theories, conspiracy that Trump supporters are talking about at this point in time, that this is deliberately being done to threaten Trump so that he should not continue running for the office of president. This has been deliberate.
Republicans. So such theories are being floated. So it's very important for America. It's very important for America as a country also to investigate this case thoroughly. In fact, Kohina, given the history of political violence in America, there was a failed attempt on President Ronald Reagan in 1981.
Right.
Then a Kennedy killing. His brother was also killed in 1968. So there has been this culture, and but also, Kohina, let's not forget the gun culture in America, which is protected by the Second Amendment of Constitution, and perhaps is much talked about culture in the United States, that how 32% of Americans own guns and arms. So, that is also something which America has to, put in place. Because if the former presidents are not safe, if somebody who is a special service protectee is not safe,
right,
and then it raises a lot of concern about the safety of a normal American, ordinary American living in America. Back to you.
Right, Siddhant, like you rightly pointed out, this does raise a lot of questions at the security lapses of the former president. And how will this entire incident impact and affect the Donald Trump's political popularity? We'll come back on that. But right now, let's take a look at what CNN Report has to say.
Be completely random pieces of information, but there was the eyewitness who we played the sound from a short time ago, who said that he was alerting local law enforcement and pointing Secret Service people on the roof to the location of the person he believed was the gunman before the gunman fired, which may be, again, we don't know, but if that is the case, then that might be why the counter sniper is already pointing in that location. John,
Yeah.
or go ahead, Andrew.
Yeah, you would hope and expect that if they had received a witness report like that, it would have at least gone out over the radio channel. And it's possible that the snipers got some version of that report, like, hey, we're hearing a report of something happening on a roof on your 3 o'clock or something like that. And so they may have been looking over there to kind of gather more information to see if they could spot something as well, but not having had the robust full, you have a shooter on this roof sort of thing. So yeah, there's a lot to be ironed out here.
John Miller, I don't know if you can see that counter sniper video. I'm wondering if anything stands out to you about it.
I think Andy's got it right, which is you've got the sniper, you've got his spotter. They are getting information in their earpieces. It is possible we're getting reports of an individual on a roof that's way on the other side. He may be looking for that in his scope when he looks up. When you hear those shots, it's entirely likely that is the shooter's actual shots, and then the sniper, and it cuts off before you hear the larger volley of shots, the video does. But that is probably coming from that counter sniper, taking that shooter out as they were trying to assess what is he, where is.
Well, Siddhant continues to stay with us on the broadcast. Siddhant, the political landscape has been completely rocked by a violent incident and Trump rally. But how do you think this incident will affect Donald Trump's political popularity and influence in the short and long term? Because we've heard the eyewitnesses who say that they're scared, they're upset with what is happening. So clearly a sympathy wave favoring Donald Trump now.
Absolutely, Kohina. In fact, what I'm getting to know is that already Trump was leading this entire race to the White House, especially after the TV debate, the much talked about TV debate between President Biden and former President Trump.
Right.
He was leading the race, and perhaps that was a major concern for Democrats. But now, since after this assassination attempt on him, perhaps there is a sympathy wave for him in his favor, and President Trump understands politics very well. In fact, look at the kind of statements that he has issued. The statement that he has issued, clearly, telling that how he used the lines that blood is coming out of my ears, and
Right.
all such kinds of lines and words have been used in his statement. So we could look at the possibility of President Trump getting even more stronger in this race after this particular assassination attempt. And as I have been saying from a very beginning, Kohina, it is up to President Biden, his administration, to come clean on this particular assassination attempt.
Yes.
Because this is very rare in U.S. politics, and this has been done on Republican candidate. So
Right.
it's and the bullet has hit President Trump. It's not just that a bullet has passed nearby, but it has hit President Trump. So it makes this case very, very serious in nature, and it would really be interesting to see that how Democrats are going to handle this particular incident, and obviously the sympathy wave that this incident has generated for former President Trump.
Right, Siddhant. Like you rightly pointed out, this entire incident or fiasco unfolding at Trump's rally is raising a lot of questions on Biden's administration and government. But what measures will the Biden administration take to address the security lapses that have led to this incident? Because the entire onus is on the ruling government at the moment, and this raises a lot of questions, not just at the government, but also at the security services.
Absolutely. That's why, conspiracy theory is not being ruled out at this point in time.
Indeed.
We still don't know the identity of the attacker. We don't know that who helped him with the arm. We don't know what's his background, why this attempt was, why did he plan this assassination attempt. So,
Well, we are cutting across to another breaking input. This one is also on Trump's attack. PM Modi has expressed concerns by the attack. Trump, now PM has said that he strongly condemns the incident. Violence has no place in politics and democracies. Wish him speedy recovery. So these are the latest inputs that we are tracking at this point of time, that Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, has also condemned this violent act on former President Donald Trump of the United States. Now, Siddhant continues to stay with us on the broadcast. Siddhant, help us understand more. And yet another leader coming forward and condemning the entire violent act.
Well, absolutely. In fact, one cannot deny the friendship, the bond that Prime Minister Modi shares with Donald Trump. In fact, the mega diaspora event when Prime Minister Modi went to US, and in fact, Prime Minister Modi did plan an event for President Trump here in Gujarat or during his visit. So, you know, one cannot deny the closeness that both these leaders share. And also this is perhaps the reason that today Prime Minister writes on X and he says that, and I quote, deeply concerned by the attack on my friend. He calls Donald Trump a friend. Former President Donald Trump strongly condemned the incident. Violence has no place in politics and democracy.
Addressing Donald.
Well, joining us on the broadcast is our colleague Aman. A very good morning, Aman. PM Modi joins the world leaders in condemning the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. Take us through all the details of the statement that he's now released.
Well, yes, Kohina, you can see Mr. Modi's tweet on X where he's saying deeply concerned by the attack on my friend,
Right.
Former President Donald Trump, strongly condemned the incident. So clearly, Mr. Modi, as we know, has a very close friendship with Donald Trump. He has been to the U.S. earlier when Mr. Donald Trump was the president of the USA, and, you know, has taken part in that famous community event when it even asked for, hope for a president to be elected again. So there's a personal friendship here as well, and that is why Mr. Narendra Modi using the term my friend Donald Trump. He also has strongly condemned the incident, saying violence has no place in politics and democracies. Wished Mr. Trump a speedy recovery. He's also said that his thoughts and prayers are with the family of the deceased, those injured, and the American people, because we know that one person in the crowd has been killed. Another couple of people were injured in this particular attack. So obviously a very, very serious development happening at the stage in U.S. politics today, early today morning. The news which has reached, and Mr. Modi has now reached out on this occasion, and like many other world leaders who have also put out statements, denounced this violence in democracies. And you all know that, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, even in 2013, when you remember, there was an attack at a Patna rally when Mr. Modi was the prime ministerial candidate of the BJP, and the bombs had gone off at a rally in Patna as well. So in a way, he's the Mr. Modi understands what really has gone through there, and that is why we see this personal statement on calling Mr. Donald Trump as his friend.
Right. Aman, help us also understand, in the wake of the Trump attack, PM Modi has called for global cooperation against violence and extremism. How do we perceive, and how will this statement be perceived on global levels?
Well, absolutely. And this has been India's long-standing stand that, against global terrorism as well as against extremism, there should be a common global strategy, and every power in the world should denounce such violence. And, that has been India's stand even during the Israel-Palestine ongoing, violence, when India had criticized the attack by Hamas on Israel, saying that terrorism has no place in today's world. And that is what has been India's consistent stand, because India itself has been a victim of cross-border terrorism from Pakistan for very, very long. And that is why India understands the pain which people go through when terror attacks happen, when attacks happen out of such extremism. And that is why India is asking now for a global strategy against this phenomenon. And also in the US, such kind of attacks which are happening, such kind of attack on top presidential candidate is an extremely serious matter, that too at a public rally. And thanks to the special service of the US, the attacker could be quickly neutralized, and Donald Trump is safe. But the Prime Minister Narendra Modi clearly saying that there is a need to crack down on such extremism, and also saying that violence has no place in politics and democracies.
Right, Aman, I'll request you to stay with us on the broadcast. As you rightly pointed out, the political world is reeling after a violent incident, and it indeed was an attack. A bigger attack was really averted, with the security services being proactive about it. But let's go across to Siddhant. Siddhant, help us also understand, with PM Modi's condemnation statement coming in forward, how do you think that PM's statement on the attack on Trump will impact the India-US relations moving further from here?
No, it has more to do with the personal friendship that Prime Minister Modi has with former President Trump. In fact, during their times, both of them were seen on multiple occasions together, holding each other's hands. In fact, when former President Trump was in India, he participated at a mega event in Ahmedabad, and even the same was reciprocated when Prime Minister Modi went to US. So both have a very good understanding, friendship, and this is the reason, Kohina, that Prime Minister not only has shown deep concerns or condemned the attack, but also referred to former President Trump as his friend. That is perhaps very significant, because he is reacting to this incident as a Prime Minister of the country, but at the same time he is also touching upon the personal equation that he has with former President Trump by calling him a friend. Now, after Justin Trudeau, Anthony Albanese, Prime Minister Modi also wishes Trump a speedy recovery. Perhaps this incident has made US elections very, very interesting, Kohina. Any which ways, former President Trump was leading this race. There were major concerns in Democrats' camp regarding President Biden's candidature. In fact, there was a lot of pressure on President Biden to step down after that TV debate debacle. And amidst all this particular assassination attempt has again given an edge to former President Trump, and perhaps there's a lot of sympathy that this incident has generated for former President Trump. In fact, look at the eyewitness accounts. They are clearly calling it a conspiracy. They are saying that this is deliberately being done to stop Trump, to lesser his popularity. So such kind of statements are being made by his supporters, his fans, and one cannot deny the fan following that former President Trump enjoys in the United States of America. So it's a challenge for the government for Democrats as a political level. At the same time, it's a challenge for the government also, since this incident has taken place 4 months ahead of the election. So they also have to come.
So that can satisfy the Trump supporters and his fans that why this incident has taken place, who is the attacker, what was the motive. All those things have to come clean. And since so many hours have passed, there have not been a single word on the background of the attacker, his affiliation, and etc. etc. So we are still awaiting some sort of an official version of FBI or a secret service or the government of the United States. Some department should come out and explain it to the Trump supporters that what was the reason, who was this person, and who sent him. So all these questions are still unanswered. Until the time these questions will remain unanswered, it would keep on creating more trouble for President Biden and his government. Back to you.
Right, Siddhant, thank you so much for bringing in all those details. We'll continue to track the story, but I'll request you to stay with us on the broadcast as we're getting more breaking inputs on that. We've been following breaking news out of Pennsylvania, where former President Donald Trump was targeted in a shocking attack. Now, this breaking input is on Joe Biden, the US president, speaking with Donald Trump after the shooting. Now, Biden is also returning to White House earlier than planned, especially after this incident. And we are getting you all the latest and breaking news out of this Pennsylvania, where former President Donald Trump was targeted in a shocking attack. Now, Biden has spoken with Trump after shooting. Biden is also returning to the White House earlier than planned. So these are the latest inputs that we are tracking at this point of time. Siddhant continues to stay with us on the broadcast. Siddhant, help us understand, do we have any more information on the kind of conversation between the President Biden and Donald Trump following the shooting incident? And what message is exactly the President trying to convey here?
Well, look, President Biden is in a damage control mode at this point in time.
Indeed.
Because he understands the political relevance
on former President Trump. He understands it very well. President Biden is also a seasoned politician. Along with a politician, he's also the President of the United States.
Indeed.
So it's the duty of his government to protect any political candidate. Now, in fact, he responded to this entire incident by calling it sick, and he says that such kind of political violence don't have any space in America. Now we are getting to know, and in fact, CNN International is reporting this, that President Biden has spoken to former President Trump. President Joe Biden spoke with Trump following the shooting at the former president's rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. Biden has also spoken to the governor of Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro, and Butler Mayor Bob Dandoy. So this is what CNN International is reporting. So, in fact, Secretary Blinken and the other Democrats are also reacting strongly to this incident of firing attempt of assassination attempt on former President Trump. Now, we have also been told that FBI has come up with the latest statement, and the FBI has assumed the role of the lead federal law enforcement agency in the investigation of the incident involving former President Donald Trump. And the FBI, full resources of the FBI alongside the partners at the US Secret Service and state and local law enforcement. And in fact, they have also come up with this appeal that anyone with the information that may assist with the investigation is asked to call our tip line. So they have appealed to the people. So FBI will investigate this entire matter, looking at this statement, and also special agents of the FBI Pittsburgh field office responded immediately. They were in fact on ground, as we were discussing earlier, also on the spot for the investigation purposes. So we could expect...
Right, Siddhant. I'm so sorry to interrupt you and cut you through. We'll keep coming back to you to understand how this entire incident could impact the 2024 presidential election potentially. But now, let's go straight to our reports from the ground on the latest on this developing story.
Gunfire erupted at a Donald Trump rally in Butler, Pennsylvania on Saturday, sparking panic in the crowd as Secret Service agents rushed in to swarm around the Republican presidential candidate. Trump emerged with blood on his right cheek and ear, and he defiantly pumped his fist in the air before being ushered to a waiting car. The shooter was dead, and the Secret Service was investigating the shooting as an assassination attempt, a source told Reuters. The Secret Service and the former president's campaign said Trump was safe following the shooting. Another person was in critical condition, said a Washington Post reporter on social media, citing the Butler County District Attorney. The shooter's identity and motives were not immediately clear. The shooting occurred less than 4 months before the November 5th election, when Trump faces Democratic President Joe Biden.
For more news and updates, all you need to do is follow CNBC-TV18 on all of our digital platforms.